Donald Trump is once again threatening Marjorie Taylor Greene's life because she admitted it all. Or, I guess, a more apt description is Donald Trump incriminated himself. A call with Marjorie Taylor Greene that is now going public. Donald Trump admitted that this is a cover-up. He admitted to his crimes. And he admitted to the fact of what we've known all along, the reason why he is going so far to hide what happened with Epstein. But before we get into it all, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already, and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button, because it goes a long way in supporting our work. Now, it's almost been 2 weeks since Pam Bondi failed to comply with the deadline for the full release of the Epstein files, and they've already admitted, the DOJ, the FBI, Donald Trump, that there are literally millions more Epstein documents. So before we get into what Marjorie Taylor Greene had to say about the latest information outside the files that's being leaked, I think it's important that we start with what Democrats are doing, pushing into the new year to get the full release. And that is coming from Eric Swalwell as he puts pressure on MAGA right here.
Republicans, Democrats, independents who have put the downward pressure on them and have said that this issue is not going away, that, there is a distrust in government right now, of both parties. And so Democrats have said, we don't care who's in the files, whether it's a Democrat or a Republican or someone who's been an ally of ours on other issues. We just want a public accounting for the victims. And that's what the American people are saying. And so I do believe that, this is not going away with the voters. And so I'd rather stand on the side of transparency and accountability and results rather than doing any more, digging and burying on behalf of Donald Trump.
Congressman, it sounds like you're saying that inherent contempt, holding these officials in inherent contempt, or even the possible a vote on impeachment of someone like Pam Bondi.
Or restricting funding. Yeah,
or restricting funding. It sounds like, though, that may not happen until or if Democrats actually win the House in 2026. Is that right?
Yes, and so we have to telegraph that that's what we are willing to do if we are given the majority. Look, we all know that Jeffrey Epstein was Donald Trump's best friend. We know that because Jeffrey Epstein said that. And so the question that everyone has right now is, what did Donald Trump know about Jeffrey Epstein? I know everything about my best friends. So if one of my best friends was a child sex trafficker, I would know that. And so the question is, did Donald Trump know that? And what did he do if he did? Right now, he's doing everything that makes him look like he doesn't want us to know how close he was to Jeffrey Epstein. And it's on us now in Congress, because he's not going to be transparent. We have to be transparent on behalf of the victims and for the American people.
If that oversight isn't going to come for a year and change at best, so what is your message? What is the message from Democrats to survivors about what they're supposed to do for the rest of 2026, right? They have already waited so long for actual justice here.
Yeah, it's that we got your back, that we don't care who is in these files. We're not trying to protect anybody. We want full transparency. And then we're going to continue to use, the public sentiment that's out there to move Republicans to link arms with us. I think what we've seen with the Epstein files, it's the same thing we saw with the reason why Matt Gaetz is not the attorney general, right? You can't name the single senator that tanked that nomination, but they banded together, Republicans did, and they were able to use strength in numbers to overcome Donald Trump. Same thing with the Epstein files. You can't really name the single individual because there were so many of them who signed the discharge petition to force it. So when you band together and you have a strength in numbers, you can stand up to this bully.
This is how we need to sound. We need to make it clear to everyone in the DOJ, so much as getting a cup of coffee for Pam Bondi, that there will be real accountability for breaking the law. Pam Bondi did not just break the law in an individual instant and then just move on. Every single hour of every single day, every single second that she is not releasing these files, she is breaking the law. And we know why it is, because she is covering up for Donald Trump. But it's also important to keep in mind, as I continue to reiterate, that I believe what's outside of the purview of the Epstein files might be just as damaging as what's in them, is that Donald Trump is also covering up for other rich men. This wasn't just a relationship between Trump and Epstein. This was a relationship between Trump and Epstein's criminal enterprise. And that includes Ghislaine Maxwell and every single other Epstein associate. That means Donald Trump was intimately involved. He knew what was happening. And that is what he is so scared of coming out. In my opinion, not just the crimes he committed alongside Epstein, but how he helped make this thing work. This larger organization that goes so much deeper. It's why he's protecting other powerful men, because he doesn't want them to be forced to speak out against him. But that's what Marjorie Taylor Greene says Donald Trump admitted in their call, which she's making public. And I want to take a look at this report right here. MTG spills Trump's jaw-dropping reason for Epstein cover-up. Marjorie Taylor Greene's nasty and public falling out with Donald Trump came as she vocally was pushing for the release of the Epstein files. But in a New York Times profile, the outgoing GOP congresswoman turned Trump critic shared new details on her drive to expose the pedo, and his accomplices drove a wedge between them after she revealed the president's explosive claim. He yelled as he sought to persuade her to stop her crusade. Greene first spoke to Epstein survivors during a closed-door hearing in September. After the meeting, she threatened to identify some of the men who abused them. The move prompted an angry call from Donald Trump, who yelled at her as she listened to him on speakerphone. She claimed it was loud enough that everyone in the suite of rooms could hear him. According to a staffer, when Greene expressed her perplexity over his intransigence, according to Greene, the president responded, "My friends will get hurt." The congresswoman told the Times that she urged the president to invite some of Epstein's victims to the Oval Office, but he told her they had done nothing to merit the honor. It was the last time Trump and Greene ever spoke. In the end, she backed the discharge petition to force the release of the files in defiance of Republican leadership. Hadn't done anything to merit the honor of being with you. A pedophile, an abuser, and a criminal. It's disgusting. But Trump saying my friends will get hurt is the obvious self-report that he is one of those friends. What Donald Trump is really saying there is, oh yeah, I know this guy who was in the files, and he's a good guy, and he's great looking, and he's got a good tan, and I think people say he's incredible at golf. It's not me, it's that guy, and people love that guy, and they say, wow, that guy, and he's the one. So don't do it because of him. It's I promise. It's a friend, and my girlfriend she lives in Canada, and it's great, and we love her, and she's a great girl. And that's what Trump is saying, that my friends will get hurt, is just an admission about his role in this cover-up to protect himself as other accomplices have their names go public. As it is that Donald Trump is, in many ways, the subtext there is, yeah, my friends will get hurt, but because I was also around them, I will too. But Trump's not going to come out to Marjorie Taylor Greene and say that I'm in the files when she's going public with every single thing that he says. But that was kind of the last-ditch effort, in my opinion. That's Donald Trump saying, hey, you're MAGA all the way, aren't you? Well then, you need to make sure that my friends are protected, because so are they. We're a part of this big happy family, and that's what MAGA has been for so long. But we're seeing the infighting now. And there's always been a little bit. But it's really largely been that if you back Donald Trump, you're in the good books. And that's all that matters. And so, the fracturing of MAGA that Marjorie Taylor Greene has caused, not just with the Epstein files, not just attacking Donald Trump on his, I guess I can't even call it a failed healthcare plan. It doesn't exist on his economy. On so much more is that Marjorie Taylor Greene put the real nail in the coffin when Donald Trump said, if you do this, you're not MAGA. And she said, well, this isn't MAGA now. MAGA is not some political ideology that we should all aspire to and go, oh my God, he's not MAGA anymore. It's so terrible. Like Donald Trump will just do whatever Donald Trump wants. Donald Trump really doesn't want to come back to DC. What is in Washington for Trump right now? What does he have to look forward to? His Congress is in chaos. There'll be one fewer Republican people are continuing to retire to resign. The midterms look bleak for him. It's only gonna get worse, and it's why the pressure campaign is more important than ever. And it's why what Lawrence O'Donnell said right here is so bang on.
From Jeffrey Epstein to another pedophile in prison, Todd Blanche should not be able to convince anyone that that letter is fake. There are real reasons to believe it is fake, and there are ways of determining it is fake. But Todd Blanche does not have the credibility necessary to make that case. So all of the assessment of what is and isn't fake in the Epstein files will be made outside of the Trump Justice Department, because the Trump Justice Department is completely corrupted and there to do nothing other than try to defend Donald Trump. Todd Blanche lied today in a written statement about the Epstein files, saying that any of the negative information about Donald Trump in the Epstein files, if true, quote, certainly would have been weaponized against President Trump already. That is a lie. That is Todd Blanche pretending that the Biden Justice Department or the Obama Justice Department were corrupt like the Trump Justice Department. The Epstein files contains a claim by Jeffrey Epstein's brother that he believes, without evidence, that Donald Trump had Jeffrey Epstein killed in prison. The brother offers no evidence of that. There is no evidence of that. And that claim existed in the Epstein files during the Biden presidency. And no one in Merrick Garland's Justice Department ever dreamed of releasing that information. No one weaponized that unfounded claim by Jeffrey Epstein's brother. Since Todd Blanche works in a completely corrupted Justice Department, he knows what he would have done with statements like that about an enemy of Donald Trump's. Marjory Taylor Greene has seen enough. The Republican member of Congress who built her entire political career on enthusiastic support for Donald Trump, but then lost Donald Trump's support when she demanded the release of the Epstein files, said today, "This is horrifying. Trump called me a traitor for fighting him to release the Epstein files and standing with women who were raped, jailed in stalls, and trafficked to men. Only evil people would hide this and protect those who participated. I pray for these women." Donald Trump tried to hide it. Donald Trump's attorney general tried to hide it. Donald Trump's criminal defense lawyer, now his deputy attorney general, tried to hide it. Donald Trump's clownish FBI director tried to hide it. Only evil people would be co-conspirators of Jeffrey Epstein.
This is the weakest Donald Trump has ever been. He is flailing right now, and we need to seize on that. We are certainly going to on this show. If you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video. If you stuck around at the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. Keep on fighting, y'all. Don't let him silence you. And until next time, I'll see you soon, and Happy New Year.